Will for Sound on Sound here at Musikmesse 2017, checking out the GEM Promega 2 Plus with Paul Whiffin. So Paul, what's the story behind this keyboard then?
Well, in 2011, Jukka Kulmila of Soundion, that's the name you'll see behind me, decided that he wanted to become a musical instrument manufacturer. He had formerly done almost everything else in the music business, and he'd also been in banking, so he had a good financial background. He went to Italy and he attended a public auction and he bought General Music, who own GEM, Elka and Lem. And this is the first instrument he's chosen to redo, and I think he's made a very wise decision. This is without doubt, I never saw this when it was manufactured by General Music, and I think genuinely this is the best grand piano sound I've ever heard. So that is the Italian grand piano, which we believe is the best sounding one on the market, not just because we've sampled it beautifully, but because we use physical modeling to reduce on the quieter notes. And so instead of just using raw filtering, crossfading, or even worse, switching, we use one sample and then we use physical modeling to bring it down. So the loudest sound you hear is the true sound of the, I nearly said the brand name, but if you shoot the stool afterwards, you'll see the brand name. But then we use physical modeling to bring it down. Now the next thing I'd like to show you is that same exact sound, but I suddenly decide in the middle of playing, not 20 minutes of programming beforehand, that I would like strings in the background. Let me show you, and I promise you this is just as the thing comes out of the box. So that's my piece Venetian Suite, hence the hat in case you were worrying, and therefore there'll be no copyright problems because I own it. I hereby grant you permission to put it on the interweb. So you see how easy that was, and if we wanted to, I wouldn't, but if we wanted to, we could put one of the entirely physical modeled pianos in with that as well. So let's put a little bit of Wurlitzer in. The other's too loud, so we bring the piano down. You'll notice at no point do I touch the performances, so I'm doing absolutely everything live. That's because we have the sampled pianos with physical modeling on top here. We have the vintage keys, Rhodes, Wurlitzer, clavinet, harpsichord, vibes, marimba here, and we have the orchestral. Those are all pure models.
Right, okay.
No sampling in that section. And then this section is a mixture of bass and orchestra. The basses are sampled, so let me, I am now for the first time going to go to a performance, just so I get the basses. There we are, so. So that's the acoustic bass, electric bass. And then my favorite, Pino Palladino in a box. Okay, let's move on to the orchestral section, which is really the last section. The strings you heard before in the background. But you might want, if you're not using them in the background, if you want to use the main strings, you might want something more marcato. And then there's an even, and then here's the legato with a very slow thing. So on the piano, you might want this one to swell up afterwards. Now what I can do, I can just add the piano in now to show you that. So now we have some organs. And if you like Pink Floyd as I do, I like Pink Floyd so much I play in a Pink Floyd tribute band. There's no greater endorsement than that. And now for the megalomaniacs amongst you, and this is the last sound I'm going to play. I listened to far too much Rick Wakeman when I was younger. So one last sound that we can't leave without playing you, because Stevie Wonder has one of these in his studio at the moment. We wanted to take it away, but he said, can you leave it? I might do some recording with it. Now, I'm not Stevie Wonder, but I used to have to try and be him at sound checks because he never ever turned up for sound checks when I worked for him. So here goes. One of the things we're most proud of, and I'm going to go back to the first sound, is the logical layout. So here we have the master control for volume. Here we have a stereo input, so somebody using a microphone can put it through the effects on the machine. Or I've actually played acoustic guitar through it very nicely as well. So that's that. And then we have the piano section. So here we have all the sampled pianos. So we've got the brand I can't mention from Italy, we've got the brand I can't mention from America, but I think everybody can guess. And then we have various different pianos that are ideal for things like techno, jazz, pop, rock. We've got an upright, we've got a detuned honky tonk for that Keith Emerson stuff. So, and that's one of the things that Keith loved about the previous Promega, was that he could do Benny the Bouncer, he could do the Sheriff, he could do all those honky-tonk sounds on it as well. It's got a volume control for that, it's got the send to the reverb and the other effects. So over here, I'll show you later, we've got dedicated reverb and a second switchable effects. And then you can shift up and down each octave. Then we come on, and then the level of that particular sound. Then we have the exact same thing for the physically modeled vintage keys. So Rhodes, Wurlitzer, we've got clavinet, we've got harpsichord, vibes, marimba. So they're all modeled, and they have their own level control, send to reverb, send to the effects. So you might want to put things like Leslie's and stuff on that. And then on and off, very important, big button, can't miss it. Last section, bass and orchestra. On this side, we've got the organs, then the strings coming round to synth pads. I never played you the choir, but it'll make you weep. You've got the ride cymbals, you've got the basses. And again, send to and from reverb. Bass with reverb on, don't do it, people, it's not good. And then finally the effects section, again with the level, reverb at the top, all the different room sizes there. So when you're programming, you can actually see what you're doing. No, step, 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 step. Pro effects, flanges, choruses, all the stuff you'd normally expect. And then over here, always live, a graphic EQ, switch in and out, four bands. That's over the whole output.
Okay.
And if you really need it, which I contend you don't, you have 64 factory presets and 64 user performances. The one area I will concede it's a bit tricky to do on the fly is to mark your split point for your bass. So you can save all that stuff. And of course, it makes people nervous not to have it saved. So we've got it there. I still don't think you need it.
Okay, how much is it going to cost then, the
right,
Promega
well,
2 Plus?
as officially of today, the UK RRP is 2,999, including VAT. For those of our European friends, and you're still our friends, the price in Europe is 3,300 euros. And we will announce an American price once we've done FCC compliance. So at the moment, this is being tested for FCC compliance. It usually means you've got to put in some bits of silver paper usually to stop emissions and all that. So we won't announce an American price until we've done that, and we probably won't ship in America till the 1st of September, because they never buy anything in the summer anyway.
Okay, well, thanks for that.
No, and thanks for coming by and being the first person to actually film the Promega 2.